You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W@G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show.
All right, let's talk with our first guest of the night from hailing from Chicago Southwest Side. He has the new record out, produced with the Black Depth. It's a pleasure to introduce to the show. I am God on tonight's show. How are you? Good evening.
What on with it, fellas? Gabe,
How's it
Sam, how
going?
y'all doing? Appreciate y'all having
Good,
me.
man.
Listen, the Sam didn't get the memo to put on his red, blood shirt.
Oh, was that what we were about today, folks? I'm sorry, bro.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
we spread love. That's what this is.
Facts.
But how are you? I appreciate you giving us your time. You got the Castle out there, man. Another record that you chose to do with a producer. For some of our younger audience, this used to be a thing that you would see. EPMD, Perry Schmidt, Eric Sermon, The Bomb Squad, which Enemy, Eric B, Rakim. Like, this was common things that you saw in hip-hop from the 80s and the early 90s. Now you are, into that. Well, what is it about the Black Depths that really inspired you to pull this record together?
Simply said, he just got that raw shit. Like the Black Depths, he was doing like a weekly like freestyle, you know what I'm saying, on IG, because he an MC too, you know what I'm saying, incredible, dope MC. And he was rapping to his own joints. And the joints that I was saying, I'm like, man, like, these joints hard. Like, I need to tap in with bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm always working, always trying to be writing, you know what I'm saying, working on something. So I just hit him up one day, like, bro, we got to work. Like, these joints I'm hearing, like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he was using a piece of machinery called an EPS. Like, I'm an MC. I'm just a rapper guy. I don't know nothing about the machines. You know what I'm saying? All I know is MPC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know nothing about the machinery. You know what I'm saying? The tools used to make the beats. You know what I'm saying? But he was telling me that was a piece of machinery that RZA was using back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of his joints was giving me that RZA-esque feel. You know what I'm saying? Like that 94 to 97 RZA feels. I'm like, nah, bro, because that era RZA is my favorite producer all time. Like 94 to 97 RZA, like favorite producer all time, hands down. And yeah, man, I was just tapped in. I'm like, bro, we got to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, those shit super raw. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm super raw. Let's just tap in and do some epic. And shit, we got Murder Castle.
Oh yeah, and also on this record, you mentioned a lot about it's interesting to hear you talk about sort of RZA in that time frame, because you certainly rap a lot about how you miss old Chicago, or this is old Chicago is different than new Chicago. My question was, what do you miss most about that time?
I just think as far as like the streets, it was much more structured. I mean, it was still a lot of bullshit, but the best way I could describe it is, as we all seen via social media, the shooters nowadays, they using the babies as shields, or they shooting right in the midst of the babies. Back in the day, the shooters used to, you know what I'm saying, they see the shorties out, shorty going to crib, get the fuck up out of there, move around, go on somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's still the same. Chicago always been a gangster ass city, too gangster for our own good. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the same. When I say old Chicago, I'm just giving reference to the era that raised me, the era I grew up in, which was the 90s into the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's still the same, but it definitely is subtle differences. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know.
And obviously, we're reflecting on your come up in LeClaire Courts. I mean, people will forever focus on like the negative things about there, but there's got to be some positive memories there as well. And it must have been a sad experience for you to see that raised by the city a few years ago. Can you talk about
Absolutely.
like the positive side of things over there?
Yeah, the LC was a community. You know what I'm saying? I felt like my generation was the last generation of shorties that actually got to grow up in a community and not just a black neighborhood, like an actual black community. Like we had the prototypical, the neighborhood Jehovah's Witness who was in everybody's business, you know what I'm saying, telling your mama when you get out of line, or I saw him smoking, I saw him doing this, I saw him doing that. Rest in peace, Miss Abby. We had the rec center, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brenda, you know what I'm saying, Jack, you know what I'm saying, the whole squad, you know what I'm saying, they used to be over there, field trips, after school programs, the teachers' aides, you know what I'm saying, that used to like pick us up from school. Shout out Hearst, you know what I'm saying, Phoebe Hearst Elementary, pick us up from the school and walk us back single file to the, you know what I'm saying, the recreation center. You know what I'm saying? We had summer jobs. I was cool with a lot of the shorties, and a lot of the shorties knew me, you know what I'm saying, as they got older, because my summer job was at the child care after school programs. I was a teacher's aide as well too. You know what I'm saying? So just ways to build on community, you know what I'm saying, and build with one another. Like I said, I don't feel like it's no more black communities. It's just a bunch of black neighborhoods and everybody fighting for the same whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest difference to me.
Word.
Yeah. Let's talk about the album cover real quick, because you talk about like you've been a gangster. It's always been a town that's always been filled with murder and mystery. The album cover, I think it's The Devil in the White City.
Absolutely.
For those who have read that. And then, of course, and for those who are familiar with the story, the building that he was doing and kidnapping people and killing people was on 63rd on the Chicago South Side, right? So you got the
actually, I
backdrop
believe
of it.
I think it's
67th.
the Inglewood. I think it's the Inglewood Post Office. That's the old murder castle.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about deciding to call your album that, and then also using the imagery from H.H. Holmes, one of the world's biggest serial killers of all time.
Honestly, with me being a Chicago kid, it was the Black Depths idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, to tell the truth, like, he refreshed my memory about H.H. Holmes, because I never knew the full story in totality, but I definitely heard of it in the past, you know what I'm saying, here and there. And, you know, the Black Depths, his style is kind of, he toy with the horrorcore shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I believe that's why that RZA influence is so prevalent, because, you know, RZA first started out in 94 doing the horrorcore shit, Wu-Tang, and then with the Grave Diggers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of their thing. So it's like his style is kind of like on some horrorcore shit. So I think that played a big part in him bringing that to my attention. And he just hit me up one day like, bro, you familiar with the H.H. Holmes story? And at the time I told him no, because the name just didn't ring a bell. But then when, you know what I'm saying, he started telling me about it and I Googled it real quick, I'm like, oh shit, y'all heard about this years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I never really paid it no mind. You know what I'm saying? So Buddy was supposed to be America's first serial killer. I think this was after Jack the Ripper, but Jack the Ripper was like London or some shit like that. So he touted as being America's first serial killer. The hotel doubled as the murder castle, you know what I'm saying? Supposedly when they arrested him and raided the joint or whatever, like they found all types of like trap rooms and, you know what I'm saying, soundproof rooms and rooms that led to other rooms, like just crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? And he was said to have murdered over 200 people, you know what I'm saying? There's some skeptics that believe he only murdered a few people out of trying to like scamming people out of money or whatever like that. But whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Like his legend, you know what I'm saying, definitely lived on or whatever. And the Black Depths, he hit me with the concept, and I'm like, bet, you know what I'm saying? But it's not so much to big him up or no shit like that or to celebrate him. I just use that theme as like, okay, in this situation, as far as the music, me and the Black Depths, we playing and the Black Depths is one person, by the way. Some people think it's a production team, but MC/producer. We playing a role of H.H. Holmes, and the body of work is the murder castle. So if you want some weak shit, you know what I'm saying? If your shit ain't tight, you ain't gonna make it out alive. You know what I'm saying? But in each joint is like played a role of a different death trap or room or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's loosely based around that thing. You know what I'm saying? Not too heavy though.
I love how you defined it as horrorcore. I don't think I've ever quite heard the genre defined as that. And in our pre-production meeting, I think I was trying to find some sort of word to say that to Weekend Gabe. But it's certainly something that was huge back in the day. Certainly when I was growing up, that was the type of rap that was popular. But these days, it's different. The music got a little bit more pop centric. A little bit more singy with all that stuff. Is there always going to be a space for that horrorcore record?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be space for anything. I wouldn't say Murder Castle is in that vein. I wouldn't say it's a horrorcore rap album. I just excuse me, I just think that, you know, that ideal came from the black depths with him still being inspired by that genre of rap. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So as far as the project itself, I wouldn't call it horrorcore, but I would definitely say with the internet, you know, it's space for any and everything, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Like good and bad, positive and negative.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know as far as like popularity wise, will it ever be like how it was in the early to mid or mid to late 90s, whatever that time period was. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But you still got acts out there who kind of toy with it. I know Tyler, he wasn't horrorcore, but Tyler the Creator, I would
He was
look
real
at him.
close though, something
Yeah, he
like
was
that. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
close. Like maybe not so much these days, but when he was
Yeah.
what's his name?
Goblin. Wolfgang.
Goblin and
Yeah, Goblin. Yeah, Wolfgang. Yeah, they was kind of
Oh,
like
you mean, yeah.
yeah, Our Future. Yeah. They was like kind of tiptoeing, you know what I'm saying, with that shit, you know what I'm saying, playing with it. I wouldn't call them horrorcore, but you know, I say the space for anything, man. And this shit so nowadays, as far as like underground rap, is so niche. Like it's room for any and everything. It's just nobody, at least that I'm aware of, you know what I'm saying, that's really pushing that envelope with that shit right now.
We had a guest that's on your album when he dropped his last album last year. And so what was it like getting in the during a record with when you talk about old 90s Chicago, he was one of the names that was holding down the city during that underground period. So what was it like to with him?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to witness him record it. We didn't record it in the same space. He sent me his verse. But just to have him on a joint, that shit was a complete and total honor for me. You know, because I got on by Kill. I'm only 36, so I got on him around early 2000s. So I want to say Armor of God. You know what I'm saying? Was my first introduction to Kill. I was kind of young. I ain't gonna say I was too young, but I was so East Coast heavy back then. So my focus was probably D Block, Rough Riders, Rockefeller, whatever was popping mainstream at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I was on Chicago shit, but as I got older, like New York, it's no secret. I said this before. New York dudes taught me how to rap. You know, I started off rapping like Do or Die. I thought I was Baby Twister at one point, but actually being able to be intricate with what I'm saying, tell stories, and put my words together, I got to credit that to the likes of like Jada Kids, Nas, even Cassidy, Philly. You know what I'm saying? But those type of artists,
Cassidy.
Big Pun, Big Pun, like they taught me how to rap. Like, woo, you know what I'm saying? Like they taught me how to rap. So, yeah, that the early 2000s, what was going on here, I kind of missed that due to my own blind eye and being so easily influenced and being, I guess, captivated by what was going on in the mainstream. I kind of missed the Mobile Man wave. I definitely missed the Matt's Crew wave, this Ill State Assassins wave. I caught a little bit of the Ill State because I can remember this one EC Illa video with tracks to the game you claim. And all I can remember as a shorty is hearing them say "ill state to the world blow up." That was like one of his last lines. And I'm like, that shit struck me as a shorty. Even though I really didn't understand it, but I knew it was Chicago and that inspired me too.
Right.
But yeah, man, like Armor of God was my first introduction of Kill. And I didn't even think that, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna shoot my shot. It's a shot in the dark, you know what I'm saying? If you say no, you know what I'm saying? If you do, cool. And he did it. And I'm like, but Bakil let me know early on when he first got wind of me that he respected me. And that meant everything. You know what I'm saying? Because to have, you know, an OG, a legend in my eyes, I don't care what nobody else say, but a legend, a Chicago legend in my eyes, like stamp me and like say out loud. Because you know, a lot of motherfuckers that hit you up in private, like, you doing your shit, I see you, keep it going. But to say on his platforms and to speak my name out loud, you know what I'm saying, to the masses, to his peer group
followers,
it just meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just like, this is a dude who's been there and done it and still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? And to know that he respect me and respect my craft and what I do. I mean, inadvertently, he influenced me too. I can't sit here and cap like I'm the biggest Vakil fan and I had all this shit, but inadvertently, like I'm carrying on tradition. I'm carrying on the what he laid down. You know what I'm saying? Like the blueprint he laid, I'm definitely following that. Just like I couldn't have been the biggest Cool G Rap fan. I'm too young. You know what I'm saying? But G Rap is definitely a major influence inadvertently through artists like Nas, Big Pun, because those was more my era guys, but they directly influenced from him. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those type of
Right.
things, and to just get that stamp and let me know, like, yeah, you one of the ones. Like, it just meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Salute the legend Vakil, man. Super gratitude.
Hell yeah. I know, I
Absolutely.
love that. And shout out to Vakil on our end too. I had a great interview with him a few months ago. Damn, Weekend Gabe, we be doing this for a long time. Other people that also appear on this album who we've interviewed before, friends of the show, Vic Spencer and also Weasel Sims.
Well
At
done.
one point on the album, you said, "Fuck an antibody, I'm anti-everybody." But it seems that you got a lot of love for the people that's worked on this record. There's people who, after you took a brief hiatus, inspired you to come back to the mic. Talk a little bit about, you know, what it means to have those guys as well on that album, but also the support system that makes this all possible for you.
Hey man, like them two of the guys right there. Salute to Weasel and Bacon, so many more. Like Phil Moore, you know what I'm saying? Phil Moore Green, Griffin, another
Yep.
one of the guys I definitely respect as a living legend. You know what I'm saying? And been around for a minute, seen a lot, did a lot. You know what I'm saying? But to have them two in particular, I'm pushing this, like we all pushing the Chicago line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm self-proclaimed Chicago underground. Like, I don't have any mainstream aspirations. I'm not trying to do a billion streams. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is building a grassroots foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight independent. You know what I'm saying? And if anything major is in the plans down the line and it makes sense, then so be it. But as of right now, like, I don't have any mainstream aspirations. Like, I'm trying to help get the Chicago underground scene popping. You know what I'm saying? Because we just as nice as motherfuckers from out in Buffalo, upstate New York, wherever the underground scene is popping. Like, we got just as much talent, and salute to them. It ain't no hate, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, whoever you want to name. But that's why I use the hashtag Chicago Never Forget How to Rap, because I think the world is so captivated with this drill shit right now, and they forgot that we've given y'all some of the most brilliant creatives ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever. Like, a lot of these, like, I feel like Chicago is, you know what I'm saying, urban culture. Like, we are urban culture. Like, a lot of different places get they cue from us. You call it what you want. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident. I see it. You know what I'm saying? So just to have, you know what I'm saying, these type of artists, you know what I'm saying, on a project ride with me, that also mean everything, because, you know, as a true blood MC, like, the respect of my peers mean just as much as the respect of the masses. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be rocking and I'm rocking with them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mutual thing, but it's beautiful. But you know what I'm saying? I got to shout out Filthy Records. You know what I'm saying? Decay, Def C, who was on a hell of a run himself. That project he just dropped, Closed Sessions. You know what I'm saying? Like, Def C, he doing his thing. Solar 5, you know what I'm saying? Green Slime. You know what I'm saying? Like, we out here. Like, it's a lot of us. So, and I just want to play my part. I'm not trying to say I'm the one. I just want to play my part in helping the city get the respect it deserves. I never felt like Chicago planted our flag. We've known to give motherfuckers to the game. We give away greatness, but we not stamped like a East Coast or New York or like a LA or West Coast. We not stamped, you know what I'm saying? Like, the South even then bypassed us. They stamped, you know what I'm saying? A whole region. You can't just say Atlanta. Like, everywhere. The South has bypassed us. So my thing is just doing this real rap shit, you know what I'm saying? And not to say real rap shit as in everything else ain't real, but just the true MC, the lyrical shit, you know what I'm saying? And just do my best to push that line here, because we definitely still got something to say out here.
I definitely feel you, man. It's core to the central hip hop idea, and it's like you said, real easy to give away the greatness, real easy to build on top of that. But it's something to be said about sticking to the core of it. No, I love that.
Absolutely.
Really quick before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about, like, kind of the progression of the last couple albums. The Eternal Reflection, we talked about that last year, and then how, like, you were like using a lot of concepts about inequality, and then on this record you kind of just go into this full of just being hardcore hip-hop artists with these, you know, like you said, almost like the torture chamber if you're going to survive through it. So where do you want to go to next? And please don't say space.
To tell the truth, I got some things up my sleeve that some looks that I haven't given the listeners yet. But my thing is, I don't ever want to get caught up in making the same project over and over. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give you the same look. And also, I get a lot of acclaim for projects like The Eternal Reflection and Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons for tackling particular subject matter and doing it in an unfiltered, unapologetic way. But
Sure.
what I need the listeners to understand is, for me, I can't say for everybody, for me, I never want to box myself into making that type of content because that shit is depressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a type of person, I'm real empathetic, and for some silly ass reason, I attach myself to pain. You know what I'm saying? And that shit fucks with my energy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a creative. I won't say that those projects was hard to make, but I will say that they take a toll during the creation process. You know what I'm saying? So with the Eternal Reflection, that was a lot of leftover residue from 2020. You know what I'm saying? The previous year, with everything being seen on the internet, from George Floyd to all the riots and all the racist shit and the Trump fiasco and this and that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that shit was, you know what I'm saying, basically all that carried into the Eternal Reflection. And then plus the hometown issues with Chicago and all that. And it was a lot of residual shit left over that spilled over into Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, you know. But if you pay close attention, every project leads into the next, you know what I'm saying? Because it's me. I'm not putting on an act, you know what I'm saying, or a front project to project. It's just the energy and the space that I'm in at the time that I'm creating it. So I came out in 2020 with I Am God with Max Julian. That was kind of similar to Murder Castle. I just wanted to prove I could rap over the hardest shit. That was bars and hard beats. Then the pandemic happened, everything happened, you get the Eternal Reflection. You know, that was a capsule of what was going on at that time. Then after that, shit starts to brighten up a little bit, but it's still a lot of BS going on. So you get Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. And you kind of see Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons as kind of a mix of all the projects. I Am God, The Eternal Reflection, and Murder Castle. You know what I'm saying? So Murder Castle was like, all right, I gave y'all the content, I gave y'all the story. And not saying that I'm done with that, but I've given you this. You know I can do this. I'm not finna beat a dead horse. Now it's time for me to just get back out here and prove to you that I can rap my ass off, and I'm one of the top MCs out. I don't care what you talking about as far as region. Like, I'm one of the dopest out here, and not to toot my own horn, but you know, I do say, hey, I put in my 10,000 hours. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I put in my 20,000 hours. So you can't tell me that I ain't dope. You know what I'm saying? That. So just trying to, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to give the listeners different looks and not get too repetitive.
All right. But we got a couple quick fun questions before we get you out of here. I'm gonna throw mine out and then Sam's gonna follow up. My fun question is, will we ever see I Am God make an LL Cool J Candy type record? like a love record. Will we ever see that?
I don't know about a love record, but I love women. So yeah, it's just about how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want to do it like me. You know what I'm saying? And I just haven't been in that space. But that's like one of the personal areas that I kind of don't visit on wax. I gotta find a perfect balance of talking to the ladies but still doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So once I figured it ain't really nothing to figure it out, but once, you know what I'm saying, that lightning bolt strike and I catch that lightning in the bottle, y'all will get that. All right. But it definitely won't be no lovey-dovey shit.
All right, last one. I like to think a little out of the box with my fun question. And I was just sitting today playing with the name I Am God. So this is my question. If you had to pick one deity to be from myths and legend, you can't pick, Judeo-Christian God. That's cheating. But one deity from myths and legend, you get to be them for a day. Who you picking?
Poseidon, because water is one of the most strongest elements ever, and it could take any shape. It could fucking destroy anything. You can't destroy it. You know what I'm saying? And just the flow is vicious. So of course, water flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Poseidon. And he on that trident wave too. We gonna just leave it right there. But yeah.
Word. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Murder Castle is the new record from I Am God. It's on all digital streaming platforms. Go put that into your life. Trust me, you'll feel bulletproof after getting through it. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you as always giving us your time, man. We look forward to having you in the future.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for having me. Also, go get that vinyl. We still got CDs left for Murder Castle. nomediocre.bandcamp.com. Again, that's nomediocre.bandcamp.com. Get yourself a CD, get yourself some vinyl. Hey, get a t-shirt. I should be wearing it right now. I'm tweaking, but in Chicago nonetheless.
Hey. But we'll grab some merch for no doubt.
All right. Appreciate y'all having me, fellas.
All right, I am God tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. I love that. I love he was like very intelligent explaining the makeup of his record. It was really thoughtful, and I really appreciate that about him.
Yeah, man. Just an incredible MC, and I love what he said about staying true to the core of hip hop, especially the core of hip hop that got him excited about it in the first place. When he talked about East Coast, when he talked about Buffalo, Detroit, that sort of stuff, and the grassroots thing. I thought that was very reflective of almost Heavy Crowns, who we've also had on the show, talking about and the stuff that Mother Nature and the great thinkers are doing. I think that is incredibly important and also different because there are so many aspirations to be the biggest, rawest, most famous rapper. And that's what it really boils down to. You just want to be, you don't want to be the best rapper. You just want to be famous,
Sure.
And it's cool to see people really sticking to the core of the shit that made the shit in the first place, if that makes any fucking sense.
No, he's very, very certain that he's the best rapper out there, and I wouldn't argue against that. I think he's fantastic. He's definitely filling the lane and the void.
Listen, if you had the balls to argue against that, you could get ate up on a track. So and I know for a fact, given your whack raps in the private chat before the show, it's not on the cards for you.
Listen, I want someone to name drop me in a record, not diss me on the record. So there's a real difference between that.
Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show, and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.